case of, it's not my fault, God. It's their fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's those PRs. It's their fault. They're spinning out of control. That's why the newspapers are no longer as interesting as they once were. Yes, that's right. We journalists, we're the paragons of virtue. In the media circus that dominates the news headlines every day, it says nasty PRs will stop us exposing their clients' sexual depravities, money laundering, and general wrongdoing. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, yourselves, don't believe what you read in the papers. Don't believe a bleating, sulking scribe. Yes, the integrity of the press is being threatened, but not by PRs, but, as Nick said, by the cost-cutting, budget-driven, short-sighted vision of the management consultants that now pass for newspaper proprietors. Let's look at the facts. The Daily Mirror has seen its staff halved in the last 10 years. It is a similar story of The Guardian, The Independent, Express, and indeed News International. Editors and journalists are being expected to produce newspapers of the same quality with resources that once fed a local rag. One fine national newspaper of our acquaintance has only one photographer covering the whole of the UK. At others, it is a similar story. News agencies that combed the country for stories have gone bust as their fees were slashed and their stories turned away in favour of cheap agency copy. It is pitiful. Proprietors are focused on feeding their shareholders ahead of their newspaper readers. The long-term future of those newspapers is not of interest so long as their bonuses are paid for, hitting targets that rip editorial resources to shreds. It is what Roy Keane, the Manchester United skipper, once called the prawn salmon brigade. Please them at the expense of the man paying at the turnstile, and you won't have a business to run in 10 years' time. Talking of Fleet Street pubs when I started off used to be about scoops, exclusives, buy-ups, and bringing the government down. Now they discuss shareholder value, sharing exclusive stories between two newspapers to save money, and culling staff in favour of the internet, where the content is often supplied by the passerby with his mobile camera. Hey, but it's free. Yes, there are bad PRs. I think we all accept that. There are spinners who are out of control. But I believe most of them are a response to an ever-increasing cynicism from the media. The lack of resources means that stories do not get checked as often as they should be. Flyers, as we used to call them, in other words, guesswork by a reporter, are appearing in print as fact. The modern-day PR, in my view, is akin to a lawyer. People do not go into court to defend themselves without a lawyer. Why should they be thrown into the media circus without a PR? We are the antidote to the journalistic flyer. Without us, in my view, it would be mayhem. I believe it is our job not to lie or mislead, but to inform and protect clients from wild inaccuracies. I also believe we are the people who see the glass as half full, where journalists see it as half empty. What is wrong with projecting the best possible analysis of a situation, rather than just the worst, the most cynical view all the time? Just look what the McCann family went through last summer. At every school gate, mothers and fathers were gossiping. They did it, you know. Oh yes, it was her, you know, she kept a diary, she was unstable. It was based on no evidence at all. Does anyone believe that is now the case? I believe their PR, who I helped place in the role, has turned the tide and truth has prevailed. Why shouldn't PRs help raise the profile and promote the story of a company looking to float, for example? It's their job to offer the most positive position possible for their client. But it is the journalist's job to check the facts and ascertain the truth. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, it is my submission that newspaper proprietors are guilty if the integrity of the press is being threatened. They are not giving their staff the resources to protect their integrity or to produce newspapers, and for that matter TV bulletins, as good as they used to be. PRs are doing the same job now as they were 10 years ago or 20 years ago for that matter. It is the press who publish the information without question or verification, and they should accept responsibility for any shortfall, perceived or otherwise, in the integrity of the press. Just just to address one or two points that the other panel members have mentioned. Stopping stories. Yes, PRs stop stories. I don't believe it's possible to stop a true story, particularly if the journalist has researched his or her facts properly. Why should clients or companies, for that matter, have to air their dirty washing in public? Nick suggests if you're a press secretary or a press officer, you should tell all the good news and all the bad news. Why? I think if it's a public office, absolutely. But there are an awful lot of private individuals who are expected to air their dirty washing in public. And again, I ask, why? The explosion in the media has been in the area of so-called celebrities. We often call them D-list celebrities these days. Not in political coverage. And political coverage is the same as it always was. And the difference, I think, for journalism now, and for PRs now, is this explosion of celebrities. And many of these people have no experience of working in the media, and I think they need protection for that reason. And I'll give you one very, very recent example to sort of offer as an opposition to what the guys are saying. Last Friday, a client of mine got in a bit of a spin because a newspaper was running a story saying that a dead mouse had been found in a tin of soup. I'll leave you to guess who the company was. Did I stop the story coming out? Yes, I did. The newspaper were about to run it, and I simply asked them how they knew that dead mouse was in the can when the customer bought it. How do they know the mouse didn't come off the floor of the kitchen and was put in the can for financial gain? Now, is that telling a lie, or is that just asking a journalist to check their facts and make sure the story is true? Thank you.